Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for being here. Today, we take another step in enhancing public safety through the Commonwealth. Today, we take another step towards creating a better and a safer Commonwealth. We must uphold the most ethical and professional standards for the Commonwealth's law enforcement officers and agencies. Our citizens deserve to trust the men and women that wear those uniforms. One of the most fundamental roles of government is public safety, keeping our families safe in their neighborhoods, in their places of work, in their kids' schools, in their churches. And the protection of Kentucky families, I know, will always be the top priority of all the officials, officers, troopers gathered here today. And we know that we cannot improve public safety if we don't invest in good, qualified, dedicated law enforcement officers, which is why we've continued to make bold investments, historic investments in our law enforcement like never before in our Commonwealth. In April, I signed into law critical and historical investments in law enforcement, which we've been advocating for several years related to the Kentucky State Police. The two bills provide the funds for KSP to recruit, train, and retain the essential workforce needed to continue to provide the highest level of security to all Kentuckians. And it brought their salary schedule and even what starting troopers make into a competitive area for the first time in probably over a decade. We were proud to stand with KSP personnel and a new class of recruits, which reported to Frankfort just this past Sunday when I signed House Bill 259 and Senate Bill 209 to show them how much we care and are willing to invest in them. And I want to thank you for all of our legislators that pushed and that supported it. What our commissioner has already reported to me is it has had a significant and serious impact. Very few retirements right now, most only to take federal jobs, and more interest in recruiting than we have seen in some time. Also, we've taken great steps to support local law enforcement agencies and others as well. They serve across the Commonwealth, police departments, sheriff's offices, helping people out in what is often their worst day. We know they have a passion for service that literally puts their lives on the line, so they should never have to struggle to support themselves or their families, given what they do and how much they do for us, which is why I was proud in this budget that we were able to increase the annual training stipend for sworn officers across the Commonwealth by $300. This raises the annual training incentive from $4,000 to $4,300 upon the completion of 40 hours of certified law enforcement training. I think many share the belief that this stipend not only helps our officers support their families, but the training that comes with it is one of the reasons we see Kentucky having some of the best trained, best responding officers, sheriff deputies, and troopers anywhere in this country. This increase will support more than 7,600 officers annually, ensuring Kentucky's law enforcement are both safe and effective while making our communities safer. In addition to the annual training stipend increase, I signed House Bill 137, which expanded the definition of police to include some additional roles. By including these positions within the definition of a police officer, their employing agencies are eligible to participate in the Kentucky Law Enforcement Foundation Program Fund. And we didn't stop with law enforcement. As we know, we have to support those impacted by crime. Victims deserve our commitment and they deserve our resources so that they can get both justice and healing. And we ought to start both of those processes as quickly as possible and make sure no one is ever harmed by their violators ever again, which is why we champion legislation like Senate Bill 64 and House Bill 254, making it easier for law enforcement to conduct undercover stings and increase the chances of stopping a horrific crime to a child being facilitated through the internet, while also providing law enforcement officers with the authority to charge offenders with harsher crimes to keep them away from the public, preventing these individuals from further interactions with Kentucky's most vulnerable populations. When I served as Attorney General, we did this work on a daily basis, and I recognize the number of people out there trying to prey on our children every single day. These were good pieces of legislation that are going to ensure that those children are safer and that we don't simply see that same person ultimately try to prey on someone else. I will always support and sign initiatives that combine both of these objectives, supporting law enforcement and supporting victims. Last year, I was proud to sign Senate Bill 80 into law, giving the Kentucky Law Enforcement Council the authority to enact swift procedures to decertify those who are unfit and undeserving to serve as Kentucky peace officers, a sacred position that is only fit for the very few among us. Today, I expand on Senate Bill 80 by signing House Bill 206 to give the Kentucky Law Enforcement Council additional authority to decertify law enforcement officers found guilty of committing certain sex crimes. This is long overdue. The legislation will allow for a higher level of vetting for law enforcement officers' initial and continuing certifications. This bill holds all Kentucky peace officers, including KSP troopers and sworn personnel, accountable to the citizens of the Commonwealth and provides an avenue to rid the profession of persons who prove themselves unworthy for the trust bestowed upon them. Through this bipartisan bill, we are improving public safety, and we're ensuring that we're always doing it in a responsible way. This bill allows Kentucky to take another step in the right direction. No professional serving in any capacity should be able to commit crimes, especially crimes this atrocious, while continuing to serve in that professional capacity, and they should be held accountable. HB 206 does more to protect the public. It also protects law enforcement agencies themselves, because holding officers accountable helps agencies hire officers who are truly committed to upholding the law. Special thing about this bill, and it shows the noble intentions of our law enforcement community, is it was sought by current and former peace officers, advocating for accountability and positive change for Kentucky's law enforcement. I strongly believe this bill is a step in the right direction, and it is a credit to everyone in law enforcement that's here with us today, but everyone who supported it. It shows we all want the very best for our people every single day. I appreciate all the work the Kentucky Law Enforcement Council and Director John Moberly have done. John and I have gotten an opportunity to work together about 6.5 years now, and we appreciate all your service. I know the decertification process is a tough job. You've had tough jobs before, but we all must continue to do everything possible to make Kentucky better, to make Kentucky safer, and House Bill 206 does just that. We're going to introduce a number of speakers today, and then folks at home are going to see at this signing, we've got a whole bunch of legislators here from both parties, all here because they believe this is the right thing. They are joined by a ton of different law enforcement agencies, showing that these agencies and all agencies across Kentucky are committed to doing the right thing. So a special bill that helps our families, that was backed, supported, and pushed through in the right way. It makes today a good day in the Commonwealth. So House Bill 206 was sponsored by Representative Rachel Roberts of Campbell County. Representative Roberts, thank you for supporting these efforts to keep Kentucky safe and for ensuring our peace officers are dedicated to upholding the law. We'd love if you come and make a couple of comments.
Thank you. And thank you so much to everyone who came out today. This bill really has been a labor of love. Someone who couldn't join us today is Dr. David Raper, who is the constituent who brought this bill to myself and to Representative Decker's attention originally. And he's been a real advocate for this for several years. As the governor said, this is an extension of bills that we passed last year, Senate Bill 80 and Senate Bill 52. And it does add this extra layer of protection for crime victims and also for the police force, so that we are ensure that we are attracting, recruiting, and retaining only the best to wear a badge in our state. I'm very grateful that this bill had the support of the Fraternal Order of Police, the Kentucky State Police, and the Chiefs Association, and that it truly was an amazing bipartisan bill. This, fun fact, was, I believe, the very last bill to clear the Senate this year. It is the only bill that cleared that day that was passed completely cleanly. There were no amendments or committee subs. This is just a simple bill that we filed that does exactly what we said it was going to do. And I think the bipartisan support behind that shows what happens when we do just that. We work on good policy that does the best things for the state of Kentucky, and we work together in this bipartisan way. Thank you very much, and thank you, Governor.
Thank you. All right, now I'd like to introduce Clark County Sheriff Burl Perdue, President of the Kentucky State Fraternal Order of Police. I grew up in 3 counties, Clark County being a very special one. So we thank the sheriff for what he does, both for Clark County and law enforcement everywhere. Oh, if you'd like to. Okay. Sheriff Perdue is a man of few words. There we go. Well, we thank you for being here. Next, I'd like to welcome Kentucky FOP Vice President and Director of Governmental Affairs, Ryan Straw, to say a few words.
That's why I didn't want to speak. It's only going to be a few, I promise. Thanks again. Thanks to Representative Roberts and everybody that worked on the bill. My time in Frankfurt, along with President Perdue's, we've been around the FOP a long time, been in law enforcement a long time, maybe not as long as Burl back there, but a long time nonetheless. These are the kind of bills that in the climate we're in, we need to be working on. The FOP needs to be involved in. And so I join Representative Roberts and everybody that's echoed bipartisan, multiple groups working together. That's what we should be doing on these kinds of bills. And I'm proud to just be a small part of it. Thanks, Governor.
Thank you. Now we'd like to invite everybody up to the table to sign this bill together. Whether we are, I guess we're all, everyone is representatives. I don't think we have senators, do we? Democrats, Republicans, our members of law enforcement from police departments, Kentucky State Police, Sheriff's Association, one of the sheriffs themselves. We have Kentucky State Police Commissioner Philip Burnett, along with Kentucky Law Enforcement Counsel John Moberly. Let's ceremonially sign this. Make sure this whole Commonwealth knows we're all committed to doing the right thing. Come on up. You always make me look short too.
No, sir, I was about 2:30.
Oh, that's okay. Just in time. All right. A little bit. We may have to have some kind of day on your day. Sean's out there.
That's right. That's a good day for me.
2 solid guys right here. There.
I know I'm tall. I'm gonna come. Yeah, I'm not tall enough to get behind him, but I'm.
I'll get you.
back over here.
Let's all. You're right. Let's get back here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are the heroes.
All right, let's all look up. All right, and here we go. All right, congratulations. Now, I think our members of law enforcement.
Yes, absolutely.
And you can't miss Hopkins County there. And,
And behind us.
okay.
FOP.
Pass back. And then, this is easier. If y'all distribute them, nobody can get upset with that.
Who else?
There we
Anybody
go.
else need one?
I'm good.
All right,
You sure?
wanna do
Would you like one?
more?
Okay.
How many have we got?
That's
You've got them since. I think. Gotta collect them, I think.
Yeah. All right. Thank you all. Absolutely. Anybody else want to provide comments? Okay. Absolutely. Yeah. Wow. Pretty excited. Yes. Thank you. All right. We'd like to thank everybody for joining us virtually today. Everybody being in this room. This is something that we can all celebrate, doing the right thing in the right way. Makes me proud to be a Kentuckian. I wanted to be a shorter too.
It was quick. It was quick.